What's up, everybody? Greg and Ryan here, and we are diving into the highly anticipated second season of Jordan Peele's The Twilight Zone.
Now, before we jump into it, this is a spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the episode yet, get out of here, go watch it, and then come on back here. Now let's jump into Ovation. The music career of struggling singer Jasmine, played by Jurnee Smollett, takes off overnight after she witnesses a tragic incident. Jasmine begins receiving rapturous applause everywhere she goes, but she soon realizes the relentless recognition comes at a steep cost. The rest of the cast includes Tawny Newsome, Sky Fiera, Paul F. Tompkins, Dan Martin, and Thomas Lennon also guest stars. So the episode kicks off with Fiji. I'm shocked they just didn't go with Sky, her actual music persona, but all good. She's in a quick scene here, and she's doing a music video or a commercial, and all I kept thinking of at this moment was Neon Demon. If anyone hasn't seen Neon Demon yet, please watch that movie. It's weird, and I love it. Now, you'll notice throughout this entire thing, while she's talking, while she picks up the coin we see later on, as she exits the room, people are still clapping. So there's your first clue, quick off the bat. Like, okay, something's up.
So she leaves the set of the music video shoot and goes out in, like, you know, incognito celebrity mode with the sunglasses and the baseball cap.
As you do.
She comes across Jasmine, who's going to be our protagonist, playing her guitar for change, and gives up her coin.
Here we go. The good old monkey paw, genie, whatever you want to say, it is here, and it's very quick. Fiji walks off, and immediately you're thinking, okay, so now that she's already handed off what we assume at this point, if you watched enough Twilight Zone episodes or anything, you'll notice that, okay, this is probably what the source of her power and fame. Now she's off, you're wondering what's going to happen next. It doesn't take long as she steps out into traffic and is hit by a bus.
I gotta say that was not unpredictable, but
a lot of this episode goes down that route.
I still like a good hit by a bus moment.
Ah, yes, Mean Girls, whatever, bring it on. Now, Jasmine goes home for a second, and she overhears her sister and dad talking crap about her music career, so she storms out. This is where we get an idea of just where her career is at the moment. She's a down-on-her-luck musician, and of course, she wants that fame, so she heads out to go to Fiji's memorial. From there, she sings a tune, of course. She's got the medallion, and everyone there is loving it.
After she draws the crowd playing at the memorial, she is approached by J.J. Malloy, who is the host of Ovation, a popular song competition show.
And of course, she quickly moves on to the next round, which is just all you need is an applause to get you to the next step here, and apparently everyone loves her. She's starting to get recognized in public, to her chagrin, but with that said, you can see that she's even a little weirded out when she goes back and does a performance. She doesn't even get her lines out. She can't even concentrate, yet everyone's clapping, and it gets louder and louder for her. So she's like, something's happening here, and the monkey paw is at full effect now.
It's not like the coin is putting like a little extra English on the talent, like she strikes out, like she completely bombs that performance. She can't play, she can't sing, and it's just the zombie ovation. Like they don't it goes right over. Like they're clearly just completely enthralled. It's complete, like, you know, supernatural brainwashing.
Yeah, it feels like a dream sequence.
And that even continues because next she's on a talk show because she's gotten popular, and in the middle of that talk show the applause gets so loud you can't hear what she's even saying. It does have like this Body Snatchers type of vibe, and we've gotten a few moments of very Body Snatchers-esque feelings this season so far.
So where our protagonist realizes something weird is happening to the world around them. And the same scenario here where there's at least another character that also seems to pick up what they're putting down, as in, like, her sister figures out that, okay, yeah, maybe you're right. Something weird is happening here. So maybe we should do something about this medallion. At first, her sister doesn't care and she thinks she's crazy, as anyone would when a situation like this arises where you say, I have a magic thing that's taking over everything. Right after that interview, she's in the car car with her chauffeur. They're driving. I know I'm not alone. Everyone else probably thought the same thing. I know they're not about to have this guy start clapping when he plays her tune. And before I can even finish saying that or thinking it, he starts doing it. And then my smile kind of goes from like, yeah, this episode to, oh no. So now this has become, the clap has just been a parody at this point. And the episode kind of took a little nosedive, at least for me at this point. But it's funny, but not funny for the right reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it's a little tedious, but I do also, like I said, I like the sort of bizarre Body Snatchers-esque quality to it. Like,
oh yeah,
the level of absurdity of like this person is basically not driving anymore.
I hope years from now, when they talk about this episode in future Twilight Zone seasons down the road, they just have people clap. That's just like just have someone being followed and they're being like a crowd of people are just clapping behind them. I want to see that just in the background of some other story
somewhere
going
in
on.
the back.
Someone's trying
really
to run
part
away.
of the episode.
Not at all. Someone's just trying to run away, and then you just see a crowd of people, maybe like 15, 20, just following them and clapping. That's all I want, please. Now, after all this, Jasmine, with her sister, decide to get rid of this medallion. They head out to a pier. Looks like they're going to toss it. I guess her sister tosses it, but did you hear a splash or anything?
I honestly need to go back and watch it.
Same.
Who getting rid of the cursed object does not watch it?
I just thought
Go
maybe it's a
into the water.
Jumanji thing. It's a Jumanji thing. Maybe obviously since she passed it on to her sister, it's even if she did toss it, it's gonna find its way back to her. But I just thought maybe for a second, she just threw it and put it in her pocket. Somehow her sister wasn't looking.
Yeah,
okay.
Like I don't know. That it seems like to pull that off would have to even be like premeditated.
Yeah. I think the sister either, yes, because you're thinking also Lord of the Rings, so you're thinking a Golem moment where her sister wanted the thing, but at the same time, even if she did toss it in the water, it was going to come back to her because she was the last one to have it. So she's the last one to hold it. It's going to find its way back to her somehow, some way.
Right, so now this period follows where she doesn't have the coin, she doesn't have the fanfare anymore. She goes out to the country to get away, and while she's there, she gets a celebrity magazine in the mail and sees that there's a new sensation and that she's basically been forgotten.
And then from this moment on, you're thinking, oh, I thought Minx, she knew that was her sister. I just assumed that she was upset that she knew, like, oh, okay, this is her sister, and she just betrayed her, and now she's become a superstar. And so the following events, where it leads up to her finding Minx, pushes through the crowd, she's got a knife, and she stabs Minx. And it's revealed that it's her sister. How could she not know? Again, it's a TV show. It deals with the monkey paw that it has everyone clapping, literally clapping for you and following you around. So I understand. You just got to take it with a grain of salt here.
It's definitely a pretty heavy suspension of disbelief kind of a conceit.
Fine. Like, yes, it is.
You know, I wasn't thinking that it was her sister until she got to the location for the murder. But you know, the editing, it's so apparent. There's definitely, it's not a reveal. You know, it's like, oh yeah, duh. Yeah, we know.
She's looking through that magazine. We don't see what's in the magazine, but I can't imagine that there's not one single shot of like a profile. I'm trying to figure out how she didn't look up any other info on Minx prior to this. It's a little absurd.
Okay, so we can't leave out how the episode actually ends, which is that Jordan Peele, as the narrator, takes the coin from the dead hands of her sister and pockets the coin.
He doesn't say a word. There's nothing here to say. He looks into the camera like, all right, guys, we'll see you for the next episode here. We'll do this again later.
It is like, it's kind of a wink and a nod moment. And there's no concluding narration because, like, what are you going to add anyway?
And now let's jump into things we noticed and Easter eggs.
First off, the Ovation announcer during the show puts in a plug for Mr. Dingle's ice cream.
Brought to you by Mr. Dingle's Ice Cream.
Now, this is 2 references at this point. It's a nod to the classic episode Mr. Dingle the Strong with Burgess Meredith, and then it's also a callback to Meet in the Middle, the first episode of this season, where the Jimmy Simpson character buys himself ice cream from an ice cream truck that is also Mr. Dingle's.
Also, this is now a chain, Mr. Dingle's Ice Cream, because it showed up last season as well. Sticking to Burgess Meredith, this episode follows the good old Twilight Zone trope of be careful what you wish for. In Time Enough at Last, Meredith's character never wished for what eventually happens to him, but he's always complaining about never having enough time for his true love, reading.
That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
The poor guy.
The last one I have, it's a vague reference, but the cursed coin is a little bit reminiscent of A Penny for Your Thoughts. That's the classic season 2, episode 16, where the bank clerk tosses a coin into the newspaper vendor's box, and he can magically hear everybody's thoughts now.
You miserable, dirty, low down.
By the end of the episode, he uses that power to improve his life. All right, Greg, let's get your final thoughts on this episode.
I guess it's one of those things. It's subjective, but we've seen it all before when it comes to the perils of fame and what to do with it. And the sad part about it, we saw it done well in the season premiere for last season, Comedian. And the fact is, too, that it was at a length of over 40 minutes and it felt like 3 hours. So that's another sin against it.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Faustian, Robert Johnson type of tale is long, if not overtrodden at this point. On a lot of levels, if you've seen one sell your soul for fame and fortune tale, you've seen them all. Philosophically and creatively, Ovation does not bring anything new or interesting to the table, and that is what ultimately diminishes it in comparison to that genre or the rest of this series. But all of that isn't enough that I want to take it away from the Twilight Zone. There is a reason this tale is told time and again, and there is always good cause to update it for a new generation or for a new audience that was not represented before. If we can clear those hurdles, there is plenty to praise about this episode. The performances and production are consistent with the level of quality for the rest of the series, and the Zonian moments still ring true for me. Throngs of zombie clappers are creepy, up to and including the guy in surgery, and seeing Ovation itself, which was referenced in Downtime, builds on the universe of Peele's Twilight Zone. The cohesion is not just referential, but conceptual too, as each of the first 4 episodes of this season examine aspiration and dissatisfaction. Alright, let us know down in the comments what you thought of this episode, and hit that subscribe button.
And we will see you all back here for the next episode. Bye-bye.